Hi, my name's Diego Reed, and before this podcast begins, we are going to be spoiling a bunch of Japanese animation shows. So, if you choose to listen to this show or episode, take caution and just so you know, there will be spoilers. So,
It's the Weeb episode.
it's the hello, everyone and viewers all alike, young and old, male, female, or anything in between. Welcome to 3AM Bagels. I am your host, Diego Reed, with my other host, CJ the Grass. And then I have two very special and lovely guests. All right, and we have Reese. What's your last name?
Wilson.
Reese Wilson. And then we have Grace Kearns. Why don't
Hello.
you guys introduce yourself a little bit?
I am Reese Wilson. I am a senior at Belleville West, and
Speak louder.
speak louder.
Louder. Louder. Shake the heavens and the earth.
My name is Reese Wilson. I go to Belleville West, and I'm a senior this year.
What do you do?
What do I do?
Yes, what do you do?
Well, I was in theater, and I plan on doing editing movies. For me right now is the end goal once I pass college.
Yay.
If I pass college.
Now, Grace, go.
Hello. My name is Grace Kearns. I am also a senior. I work at an ice cream shop, and I make good tips. And going into college, I would like to major in voice acting and, in general, the performing arts.
Voice and movement. Fancy spancy. Now, today, this is a little bit loosely structured compared to other episodes that we're going to have. And we're just going to talk about Japanese animation, also known as anime. I'm going to include Japanese animation in the title because that seems fancier. And so, let me pull up the document that I had all the questions with. So, all right, let's just go with, okay, first question. Grace, how did
What?
you get started into anime?
I think I started because it was like the beginning of COVID. We were all doing online learning. It was like Christmas break, and my cousin Alex was watching Naruto, and I was like, I've seen him watch anime before, so I was like, I might as well give it a try. So don't hate on me if I pronounce this wrong, but I first watched Akame ga Kill.
Akame ga Kill, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was my first anime.
We're going to butcher these names, by the way.
Yes, we are.
So just be prepared.
Because we're gringos.
We're gringos. And just to clarify, Japanese animation is what it is. It's just a specific style of cartoon, kind of. But it's all majorly done in Japan, and they have like a specific structure. Most of them do, but they really focus on a lot of like action and like doing stuff that normally, like if you were to do something like with Marvel, like if you were to film a live action Marvel movie, it would cost hundreds of millions of dollars. But you could do that exact stuff with like animating a cartoon in anime for like much, much less. So the boundary and creativity on what you can do is much greater. So that's what I have to say. Did you unconnect something?
No. I just want to say, so the reason we have this really weird setup right now where me and Diego are sharing this microphone is that if you watched our last two episodes, you will have heard that microphone doesn't sound good right now, and we
Yeah.
have to fix that. So this is the setup for now. I wanted to use these headphones, but this doesn't seem plausible.
Here, I can pull it.
Yeah, so I started watching anime when I was
Why don't
around.
I use... Here, switch headphones. You use
Switch
these, I'll
headphones?
use these.
That actually makes a lot more sense.
Technical
Yeah.
error, everyone. Ooh, we're getting goofy.
Okay.
Are your headphones on?
Okay, well this is
That looks inconvenient.
Yeah.
That looks fun and entertaining.
I guess we will have to share.
You guys are having a
Okay.
swell time. Are we good?
Yeah,
We're
I think
basking
Yes.
in glory. So I started watching anime when I was in around 5th grade. And I don't know what really kind of started that obsession, but I watched Naruto on Netflix. And it got to a certain point where I couldn't watch anymore, but I figured out there were more episodes. So little old me didn't know it, but I actually ended up going to like a site that pirated Naruto episodes and like a bunch of shonen stuff, and I just started like watching that constantly, you know, just like all the way until 12 in the morning, just like watching Naruto. And I didn't end up finishing it, but for those who have watched Naruto in its entirety, they can realize why people would give up near the end because it gets very repetitive.
Well, what do you mean Naruto like before Shippuden or just Naruto?
Naruto Shippuden, because I don't know the stat exactly, but apparently there's around 40% filler episodes.
Yeah,
And what filler is basically just an episode they put in there in order to fill the season that doesn't add to the story. So, yeah, there's a lot of that in one season, and I was just like, ugh. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember at the end of Naruto, I probably skipped, like, I think they went back to, like, Sasuke's, like, background story, like, 3 times or something, and they were, like, each, like, an episode or 2 long. Like, it was crazy. The amount of filler and, like, just non-current events that was happening. Like, they put so much backstory in at the last, like, 100 episodes. Like, legitimately, probably, like, 50 of the last 100 episodes was backstory, which was... I mean, it was somewhat interesting, but a lot of the backstory was stuff we already even knew about, and it was just like giving us small little details that, we basically already knew about. We just, got extra details, and we're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But I wanna go see like Madara in Naruto fight. So
Yeah, some of the sometimes they add a bit too much, and although you're trying to like get into like the author adds that to explain why the character is doing something, which is nice, and you can honestly sometimes even sympathize with the character a bit more. But at the same time, if you add way too much, then it just bogs down the character and initially bogs down the character. I'm very tired today.
We're definitely going to do an anime opening quiz to some degree, right?
Yeah, there will definitely be a quiz.
I have this set up where the audio should play straight onto the podcast board, so we will be able to hear it, all of us, and actually do the quiz, and it will be on the everyone will hear it too. So this is
there
fun.
we go. All right. Well, we're giving up because I can't find it. So, Reese,
Yes.
what's your favorite anime?
Well, I'm in the midst of Attack on Titan, and as the recording of this podcast, it's currently coming out, and we're on episode probably in the upper 80s right now. So
That's crazy.
definitely one of the longest running shows that I've been watching. I haven't watched any extremely long running shows like Naruto, as you were talking about, but yeah, it's definitely it's my favorite and many people's favorites as well.
What's it called again?
Attack on Titan.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You are
I'm
fake.
sorry. I'm sorry. I was fine. I was fine.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah,
anime
what's that
before.
show?
Yeah, so that's... Yeah, so for those who are listening and can understand and sympathize with us, I personally think it's just going so slow right now. I haven't watched the newest episode. It's coming out on Sunday, but it's just dragging on and on and on.
And this is why I haven't watched season 4 yet, because I get to binge it in one day whenever it's all out.
You will not be able to binge it in one day.
I mean,
I
it's
will.
also kind of fun, though, to, like, have to wait every Sunday until the next episode comes out because it makes it more worth it. But, I mean, if it's dragging on right now, then it's not really worth it. But I think sometimes it's fun to have to wait for a show because it, like, builds that anticipation.
Well, yeah, and then there's sometimes you'll get really good moments like, whoa, we just picked up a person and just went yum, 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 yum. And that's crazy. But there's other episodes where they're just sitting in a forest and they're like, I hate you. I hate you too. And it just gets a little long, and we understand all the characters' motivations, but they just,
There's definitely a lot of expositional episodes. I don't think there's actually many filler episodes. Like,
I don't think there's any, honestly.
like in most anime, there's like a beach episode or like some other gimmick that
There's
would like
always a
we'll
freaking
be
beach
present.
episode.
We'll get
Always.
into that.
there's always
they
some other
actually had a
gimmick that
beach
is
episode
present
yet?
in other.
What?
Has AOT had a beach episode
Yes,
yet?
at the end of the 3rd season.
Well, that doesn't count.
That it doesn't
That
count,
doesn't.
though. It's not a
That's-
traditional beach
that's
episode.
But it
warming.
is
It's
because
heartwarming.
there's that like shot with Sasha and Connie and Jean, and they're all like splashing around in the water. It's like one of those freeze shots where
It
they're
was
like,
like- it was like
smiling,
the
and they have like the
credits,
blush on their
There's like
face.
credits.
The
though.
point of a beach episode is to, well, I can't really say, but
Yeah.
you know, it's
You
not
could say it.
it's
You
not
could-
a.
You could say it. We said spoilers.
It's definitely
Nothing.
the
to do
point
with
of a
spoilers.
beach episode is to have your characters whom the audience has like care for in like swim trunks or
fan service.
like it's
It is
essentially
fan
fan service,
service,
yes.
yes.
Now in the case of Attack on Titan, I don't think that's true because they're all essentially in military gear,
Yeah, and it
and
was
the main
first time
character's
seeing the
having his like
ocean.
Joker
I mean,
arc.
they take their shoes off.
Are
They-
you
they
are you
were-
into that? Like,
In the-
what's
in
the
Yeah.
point here?
Are we talking about the? Okay, I don't think the AOT that. I don't think the beach episode was fan service. I think it was the last episode,
Not even a beach episode.
and it was the first time where they were all like carefree and genuinely happy because they
was
thought
beautiful.
okay, the enemy is gone. We don't have to deal it with anymore. It's
Well,
perfect. But then
except
but then
for-
Aaron is like
It's just like way
Aaron's
far
having a
out.
Yeah, he's
Joker
like-
arc.
there.
Over there.
I'm not gonna quote it because I don't want to sound dumb.
What was it? What's the quote?
It's like, if we get rid of all the enemies over there, will we finally be free or something?
Yes, that's what
Yeah.
it is. And then it ended there, and I thought, oh, that's gonna be that. That was the end of it. And then I saw that season 4 was airing, and I was like, what? There's more.
If
How do you
only.
guys feel about? Am I allowed to ask questions?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you guys feel about it changing from Wit? It was like Wit Studios, right? To Mappa, something.
Okay, because I hadn't watched it like consecutively from season 3 to season 4, I didn't even notice a difference. Once I heard and saw that it was changed, I did see a difference. I think my only complaint was I didn't like some of the character designs. I didn't like how they redid Armin and Mikasa.
Mikasa was like a dude.
Yeah, she looked like a dude, and
like-
I was like, come on, man.
She kind of did by the end of season 3 though too.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Well,
But it's just I don't know. I feel like there's nothing wrong with giving care. Like I will say this in anime, authors tend to what's the word? They tend to pander to the male audience and use the male gaze and make women more feminine
Definitely.
and
oh my god.
inhuman than they are. And I think that AOT does a really good job of not making, women in too feminine, like making
Yeah.
them realistic. But I feel like they just went too much, overboard with that. They made Mikasa look like a dude.
Yeah, she looked like a
And
man.
I think Sasha was the only one that looked like a girl.
Yeah, she looked fine. And what's her name? Hitch. She looked
Yeah.
good.
I liked Hitch.
Hitch is hot.
And they keep Levi looking as good as well.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I mean,
obviously not obviously pandering to a male audience. It's something that every anime does to some extent. But I think that's not really the point of Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan is essentially just like a horrific war story about nationalism and very bad things where we have to question our morals. And I don't think like fan service really fits into the themes of the
No,
show
that
at
was
all.
so
It's not.
weird.
Yeah.
They're all the Titans are nude. They're nude,
Yeah.
but
It's not
just
like
the way they flop around.
Just
Yeah.
imagine
It's very
if they
goofy.
weren't. Imagine how weird would it actually be if they weren't nude? Like that.
if they wore clothes, that would be so.
Well, you mean like
It'd
they?
be weirder. I feel like it'd be weirder
Yeah,
somehow.
I feel like you wouldn't get the same effect.
By the way, when I mean nude, I mean there's no bits and pieces or bops showing. There's none. It's just chest and
Big muscles,
Big
and
muscles.
big
There's
burly
no-
men
it's
fighting
it's
each
your
other.
classic human anatomy doll.
Yes.
That's what it looks like, but to a more
Like an American Girl doll, basically.
It's
yes,
just scary.
but
Yeah.
like on a much grotesque level.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I think going on to fan service.
Oh.
Okay.
Is it? Are you gonna talk about My Dress Up Darling?
Yes, I am going to
Yep.
talk
my
about My Dress Up Darling. So, My Dress Up Darling is a newly released show. They're releasing episodes every week, and in anime, we talked about it. Is that they have a lot of bad fan service.
Mm-hmm.
So there will be camera shots where they just blatantly do something perverted, and it's just there's no reason to add it, and it completely takes away from the story and the plot and the characters in itself. My Dress Up Darling, it's about cosplaying, and there is some fan service, but they do it very cleverly, for one, and they do it so it's like it. How do you?
What do you mean by
like,
that?
Like Grace, explain on to it, because you get what I'm saying.
Okay, so I would like to say, shamefully, I have watched some High School DxD. So that compared to My Dress Up Darling, it is so different because there's like a purpose for like the fan service in My Dress Up Darling. Like it makes sense because it's basically about this guy who does he paints Hina dolls, right?
Yes, Hina dolls.
And
that's what
this chick is like, can you help me with my cosplay outfit? Because I obviously don't know how to do this, and I think you could help me with clothes. And he has to take her measurements, so she like has to strip down. So she's in like, a bikini basically. So then you get like, of course you're gonna get like crotch shots, and you're gonna see some nice knockers or something, but it's there for a reason. But like compared to High School DxD, you're just seeing like crotch shots when they're like talking about a homework assignment or something. It's like there's no reason for it.
Yes,
so.
And I mean, I think at least with that show, or not High School DxD, but with My Dress Up Darling, I've only seen like half of an episode because one of my friends was watching it, but I know basically what it is. I just haven't seen much of it. But I think like with that, it's kind of like teen romance. It's like it wants to make you a little bit uncomfortable, but also it shows how much like the character is uncomfortable with like being like I don't know how old he is, but like a 16-17-year-old guy in high school who's like obviously a 17-year-old guy in high school and so and it shows him being very awkward, and it shows a story of just kind of romance and like real things that isn't just blocking out all of the inappropriate parts of romance, which is just it's just something that isn't like a lot of other anime where they're just like big breasts.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this leads me to my next question: is what is something that you dislike about anime, whether that be the industry or a stereotype or like a trope? And one of them I don't think it's talked about enough is how in virtually every single anime, all the main characters are either 14, 15, or 16 years old. Like absurdly young ages.
Like they're never adults.
And they're very ever rarely adults, and that goes into this fan service stuff, is because in some anime they'll be doing this like sketchy stuff, and it's just like, this is a 15-year-old child.
Kill a kill.
They wouldn't be doing any of this, and it's just, some of it is mind-boggling, and it's just so weird. And you're also like showing this like 15-year-old, 16-year-old like characters to like a 20 to 30-year-old male audience, and so it's just it's kind of creepy.
I think that's a difference in culture because they have a very different view on like certain activities over in Japan. Like for instance, the age of consent is like a lot lesser.
I think they boosted it up now.
They did?
To like
okay.
Well,
well, it definitely wasn't.
Yeah.
At one point in history, definitely wasn't. And I believe those effects are probably dripping over into anime.
Of course. I mean, it's a very different culture. They are very much more socially accepting of a lot of, the stuff that you see in anime, while over in America, we see it and we're like, it's really weird, but at the same time, everything else is so good, we're still going to watch it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think my biggest problem with anime would be all the lewd stuff with it, because with a lot of anime, I feel like it takes away a lot. It's like I'm watching a really good story, and then suddenly it's just, lewd. And I think in the Japanese culture, that is very comedic and has, it's like comedic relief. But to a lot of us in America, that just makes us uncomfortable, and we're like, that's not, I mean, sometimes it's funny, but a lot of times it isn't, and we're just like, there goes the good moment.
I never actually thought about thought it as like comic relief. That's interesting. I never thought of it like that.
Because whenever you see it, like I feel like most of the time you can tell it is supposed to be comedic. Like most of the time, a lewd bit's like one good one is Fire Force. Anyone's watched Fire Force?
Oh yeah, that bit. I know what you're
There's
talking about.
Yeah, I don't remember what the girl's name was because I watched it like a year ago and I haven't watched season 2 yet. But you know, like that, there's that one character that, you know, just always will trip over something and suddenly all of her clothes falls off, and you know.
Sorry. Go continue.
I mean, I mean, that's just, you know, kind of funny, and I think, you know, in Japanese culture, that's probably extremely funny, and to us, you know, the nudity of it takes a little bit of it away for us, but it's still pretty funny, and I can see, you know, like a lot of characters in anime are to some degree like that. I think because the culture in Japan is just very different.
Yeah, I mean, especially with that thing, I think it's just like highlighting, you know, just like how some creators of anime and writers like do that kind of stuff when there's no need to. So I think it's playing off that trope. And there's another show which plays off a bunch of stereotypes and anime tropes, which is, I think it's called The Crazy Life of Saiki K. And that's a really good one because it's a fast-paced show. It's got really simple, basic animation, but it's so freaking funny. And it just goes off basic anime tropes, like the main character is super powerful. There's always one dumb, clueless guy. There's always one guy that's like the nemesis and like part of like some secret organization. There's always like the running gun-ho guy that's like, I'm going to do my best. And I think that's a funny show that I like. And continue on. What is one trope that you dislike, Reese?
Oh, my least favorite trope is definitely CJ's, with everything being more like, I guess, sexualized than it really needs to be. Because
What about you, Grace?
Probably the same thing. I would say it's since I'm a female, I would say it's like for a while I didn't realize it, but a lot of anime, not all of it, but a lot of it is from the male gaze. Like, and you can see that with all these anime women with their huge knockers and like just the way the clothes fit them or the way they speak, or just, I don't know. I think the male gaze would probably be my biggest thing.
Yeah. I think another small problem is harem anime. And what I mean by harem anime is that the main character, it just exists. He might have some personality or like like decent personality traits, but all the like female characters that are introduced, let me be more specific, there's only female characters that are introduced, and they all are trying to get into the main character's pants. And so I'm not a fan of those because it's most of the time it's bad writing, and most of the time it's just not really entertaining. There's some exceptions that aren't really considered harem anime, like I think it was Shield Hero.
That was considered harem.
Yeah, that one is considered, but I think they do a good job in not really steering it into that way. And that one's really good. That one really shows like, I don't know, it's like just like being put down by society and like having to work your way up, you know, in order to be successful. Or like in this case, he has to be the bad guy in order to exist in this world. So that's one that I really like. But let's see, what is another question that I wrote down on my phone that I'm looking at right now as I type in the test code? What about, have you guys read manga? And if so, what was your favorite manga?
Yes.
Okay, what's your favorite manga?
I don't know. I don't have a favorite because there's so many that I've read that I've liked. I read one called Letter B, or I'm not going to try to pronounce it actually, but it was really good, and then it kind of just kept dragging on. But I would say there was a really good one I just read. It's by Junji Ito, and it's called Tommy, or Tommy, or however you want to pronounce it. And that one was really good, and I think that's probably my favorite one right now.
Speaking of that, Junji Ito is a horror manga artist who is just really famous for making the most like scary, horrific like scenes in manga. Like, if you're into horror stuff and like, I don't know, and are slightly interested in manga, or if you just are interested in manga, he is a very good author to check out or artist to check out because his stuff, like, I haven't read a lot of it myself, but I have not ever heard the end of it, of how scary his stuff is. And the little bit I have seen from it, it is very horrific. So
Yeah.
he's a good
His art
good
is
artist.
really good.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Reese?
Well, I read a very anticipated upcoming anime that I don't know if it's getting animated or not, but Chainsaw Man.
Ah,
It is
yeah.
I
getting
did-
animated.
oh, it is, right.
Yeah,
It
by
is.
Mappa. Like
Okay.
they have so many big
I
works.
thought it was animated already.
No, it's
It's
not.
getting. I think it's getting released either this summer or like next year in January.
I read it for a English assignment with a few other people, and I will say it has a very interesting premise. People are saying that it's like one of the best like pieces of fiction ever made. I'm not really sure about that, but one thing that definitely definitely isn't helping it is the sheer amount of like again fan service in it.
Okay,
Because I was
fan
reading
servi-
it-
Okay,
Okay,
fan
yeah.
service in Chainsaw Man is kind of the same thing that I was bringing up with, like My Dress Up Darling. It is to highlight the awkwardness and stuff. Like it very much covers a lot of like just more difficult topics to cover. That is what Chainsaw Man does. It covers a lot of, like just sex. I mean, I don't think they even.
There is
at
none.
least
There is none.
at least where I.
If anything, it's just the character designs that are
But,
a bit
like,
lewdy.
But what I mean is like because the main protagonist is like what, a 16-year-old boy, and he has had a very rough life and not really ever had a family or anything. He's not really had anything he's wanted. He's just wanted to survive, and now he is trying to kind of figure out what he wants. And the first thing he thinks of is girls, and and so it highlights like it just covers kind of that topic, and it also covers just really cruelty and a lot of just dark stuff too. But at least in my opinion, the normal lewd nature of anime, in my opinion, in Chainsaw Man isn't really like, I think in Chainsaw Man it is good, it works. It's not there to just make you uncomfortable or be a joke for something that at least our culture doesn't understand. It is just there, like, for the characters in it to really, just try to, just highlight awkwardness. And, I feel like in Chainsaw Man it's proper. I don't know exactly how to put the right words to it, but I think that in Chainsaw Man it works and should be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I will say though, reading we're only supposed to read books in class, obviously, and scrolling on my phone, reading, all of a sudden there's a big pair on my screen, and I have to scroll away. Like why? Why does that have to be there?
So I wanted to buy all of the Chainsaw Man manga and read it only on that. And in America, it's only out to chapter 8. So I'm actually only up to chapter 8. The last 3 chapters, I don't know what happens yet. So try not to spoil that for me. But what is it? I think it's chapter 6 is just, full, the cover art for it is just
Oh,
full.
yeah.
It's
full
full
risque,
naked.
as the adults
Yeah,
would say.
it is just covering up barely.
Mhm.
And I was reading that in class. To read that in class, I literally taped a sticky note like just over that entire part of the cover. And the funny thing is, for chapter 8, or volume 8, I mean, in volume 6, volume 8 also has the same type of thing on it. It's just covered up better and the colors are darker. And I didn't really even look at the cover for cover 8, and I read all that in class. And then after I got done reading it, I saw that and I was like, oh, I hope nobody saw that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, for me, I've done a lot of manga reading, and I think it's between two. I think it's either between a manga called The Promised Neverland or one called Claymore, which isn't too popular of a one, but Promised Neverland is a really interesting concept. And it's honestly, it reminded me of Hunger Games and like Divergent a lot, really. And I think like the first 3/4 of the manga are brilliant. They're brilliantly written. The characters are amazing and like very well done. But then the last quarter is not the best. It just kind of jumps around. It kind of just speeds through to the end. And the anime, they made an anime about the Promised Neverland. The first season, perfect, amazing, great.
Awesome.
Second season, I would rather drink barf than watch that horrendous tragedy again, because they completely like destroy the meaning of the manga. I mean, yeah, they destroy the meaning of the manga, and it's just not done well.
I mean, I haven't actually watched or read much of. Well, I watched like the first 2 episodes of Promised Neverland, and I don't know. I just wasn't. I don't know. I mean, I wanted to finish it. I don't know. I got into something else at the time, but you know, I think that because I watched like a video about it, like why Promised Neverland season 2 was so bad, and I think they skipped. Did they skip literally like?
They skipped
half the manga. Like they just
They skipped the Goldie Pond arc. They skipped. They skipped the Goldie Pond arc, and then they skipped the final arc, and they kind of just interpreted it in a weird way. And
so season 2 of Promised Neverland, like the anime is supposed to be like the ending.
Yeah, it's not good.
That's really whack.
That's why I haven't watched it, because anyone I've heard like talk about it's been like, don't watch it. It's really bad. So
it's. How I like to say it is the manga was the like bad ending, not in the sense of like bad writing, but manga is the bad ending and the anime is the good ending. Not in the sense that the anime did it better, manga did it way better. It's just like in the sense of emotions, manga is like the sad and the anime is the happy ending. That's the one spoiler I can give. Okay, and so we're at 3:19 right now. You know what time it is? Press the button. Press the button. Press the button.
I don't know which one.
You gotta figure it out. No. Wait, is it? Are we? Wait. No. There we get.
There we go.
It's game show time. So, my contestants, compadres, and friends, I have a series of questions written here that I created in the past couple of hours, class hours, I mean. I will ask you some different questions with various wordings, and if you get it right, you get a point. All right? Are we ready to begin? If you have the answer, just like shout it out. All right?
Oh no.
Time for all my weeb knowledge to come in clutch.
All right. So we're gonna start off pretty simple. What show is the character Eren Yeager from?
Attack on Titan.
Okay.
I thought we were gonna have to buzz.
No, we're
Buzz.
just gonna shout it out. And so, Reese, and then I'll put C right there. So you guys get 1 point already. Look at that.
Share points.
I was gonna buzz in and say.
All right. The next one is, we're going to get a little bit harder. Which show is the character Urza Scarlet from?
It sounds so familiar.
I'll give you a hint. Guild.
Fairy Tale?
Yes.
Yeah.
job.
I don't know why it sounded familiar because I didn't notice it at all. The lights just flickered twice. That was concerning.
And final one for the characters lineup.
Oh no.
What show is the character Edward Elric from?
Oh, I know this one. Full Metal Alchemist.
Correct.
Dang.
I watched like 20 episodes of it and then I just was not feeling like watching a long shonen at the time.
Fun little fact, all those characters' names started with the letter E.
Oh, fancy.
Now, this one's pretty fun. A famous Japanese snack called onigiri, which is rice wrapped in a seaweed in a little triangular shape filled with either meat or vegetables. Now, here's the question. What does Brock from Pokemon the show, call these onigiri in the American version?
Oh, it's like rice cakes, rice balls, something like that.
Close. He calls it a certain pastry.
A tasty pastry.
A tasty pastry.
Yeah, my
That's-
3AM Bagels knowledge is even coming in.
It is not a tasty pastry, but
Oh.
it's not. You give up?
Cupcake.
I have no idea.
He calls it a jelly donut.
Oh, I just heard that the other day.
Yeah,
Dang
jelly donuts. Because the show didn't think Americans would get what onigiri means and think it would be too hard to pronounce, so they just called them jelly donuts. Now,
That's very American.
here's another one. What is the biggest grossing anime film in theaters?
film?
Demon Slayer, probably.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Zero, maybe. It might be.
Well,
but then-
Jujutsu Kaisen is still getting
What?
decided, but
It
what's the
just came
specific?
out.
It is Demon Slayer, but I'll give you an extra.
Mugen Train.
Yeah, Mugen Train.
Mugen
Okay,
Train.
I'll give CJ a point for Demon Slayer, and I give Grace a point for Mugen Train. It has made around 40 billion yen,
Well,
and so I think there's a strong possibility that Jujutsu Kaisen, which is the prequel to what the show is now, I think it might overpass Mugen Train. So we'll see what happens.
I think it's second behind Batman right now. Like,
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
Because
I'm going to watch it tomorrow.
the Jujutsu Kaisen movie.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
It just from what I know about it, sounds really good. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I can just say this. I know it's about the character that is like.
The teacher.
No, it's not the teacher. Oh wait, it's about Gojo.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, I didn't
well,
think
it's.
it was about
I thought it was
it-
about
That guy who
Fukushima-
isn't.
He starts with an F, right?
Yeah. So
Fukushima.
A fun
Fukushima.
like fun fact about Jujutsu Kaisen. All of Jujutsu Kaisen was supposed to be like the main character was supposed to be that guy, but he was too overpowered. So they took whenever they was writing the manga, he was like, you know what, don't want him to be the main character anymore because he's too overpowered and it's not as interesting. And then they made Itadori, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
The main character, and I think like Jujutsu Kaisen Zero, the movie, is kind of about the old main character's like actual original story that like was supposed to be actual Jujutsu Kaisen, but now it's not. That's why I think it's called Jujutsu Kaisen Zero.
It's like the prequel.
It's like that was what Jujutsu Kaisen was going to be, and it didn't end up being that.
Yeah. All right. So here's the next one. What is the name of the nine-tailed fox inside Naruto?
Kurama.
Yes.
Bang.
All right. Okay, we have Reese at 1, Grace at 2, and CJ at a whopping 4. All right. In Your Lie in April, the main character is traumatized by memories and events in the past, and so that stops him from playing piano. What were those specific memories? Like, what specifically was the catalyst for his stopping to play piano?
Can I phone a friend?
You may not phone a friend.
Darn.
You cannot use
Aiden
Aiden, who
would
is
know.
currently
What was the
editing a
question?
video right now. So the main character in Your Lie in April can't list. He can't play the piano anymore because he can't hear the notes, and so it's because of something traumatizing in his past. What was that traumatizing thing?
His friend was murdered.
It was not that his friend was murdered.
He was in an explosion.
It was not because
Was
he
it
was in an
something
explosion.
about cancer?
It not really.
His friend got messed up.
It does include death, but what is it?
Someone in his family committed suicide.
Died of
I'll
cancer.
give you a point because no one's gonna guess it. It was because his mom had passed away.
Oh.
Was it due to cancer? Because I swear
I
remember,
don't think it was
I
cancer.
remember hearing something about Your Lie in April, just with like I knew like it was supposed to be really sad and stuff, but I don't know where. Somewhere I thought I heard it
I
sad
know it was
because of
supposed to be
cancer.
It wasn't with cancer. I think that I don't know. I think she might have died from overworking, possibly.
I just
And because
saw something about that.
she was she was very abusive to him, and she wanted him to be perfect. And then when she ended up dying, it kind of left a mark on him, and so he basically couldn't hear the piano anymore, and so he stopped competing. All right, all right. So now we have Reese at 1, Grace at 3, CJ at 4. I might have to make up another one on the spot, but
Well, you want to know something we could do? An anime opening quiz, just like
we'll do
like
one. We'll do
Western.
one, and we'll do one anime opening quiz one, and then I have our final question.
Do we want to do that now? Well,
Yes.
actually, wait, I want to skip this because I like saw it and it's AOT,
Yeah,
and all of us would
we'd
guess
get it right
that.
away.
And also, plus,
Okay.
I
Oh, no.
All right, let's go.
let's see the second one.
Okay, what we just heard was blaring anime music into our ears, so don't you dare play
We
it.
don't own any of
Please
this
turn it
music.
down all the way.
It's at 5%.
Please turn it down all the way. I could still blaringly hear it.
One Punch Man.
One Punch
It's
Man.
One Punch Man. Okay. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. What? No, it's oh, so the princess. Wait.
I don't know the anime. I know the song. It's Goyo Mayonnaise or something like that. Noragami.
Why did I not know that?
Good job, that was like
Audio
my
Jungle,
favorite
Audio
song
Jungle.
For the longest time. No Game, No Life.
Dang, that was fast.
Go outside.
CJ's winning. That was fun.
You might not
CJ's
even
a
want to start
weeboo.
counting these.
Audio Jungle, Audio Jungle.
I don't know this one.
ID invaded. That's wrong, but I'm just gonna take a guess.
Oh wait.
Oh.
Naruto.
That's Naruto.
If it went further in it, I probably would have gotten it.
I only know the old one. Trigun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a guess and say
I-
it's
I- I-
Trigun.
I
If
think
it's
it's
Trigun, I'm gonna crap my
think it
pants.
is.
It was
Dragon
Dragon. Oh
Ball.
no, it was Dragon Ball. I didn't hear the chorus.
Wow, I'm really sad I didn't get that.
Oh.
Code Geass.
Yes, it's Code Geass.
Oh my gosh, dang.
That's my.
Audio Jungle, Audio Jungle, Audio Jungle, Audio Jungle.
Beep boop, beep boop.
I don't think it's that bad.
Sword Art
We're
Online.
just gonna make sure.
Sword Art
Sort
Online.
of. Nah.
This is my favorite part
Did you
of the
get that,
podcast.
Reese?
Yeah.
All right, we'll do one more, and then I'll end off with the final question to
I
wrap
want to
up the
get one more.
podcast.
I like. Wait. Oh, Black Butler.
I had no idea.
Well, you would be wearing a Black Butler shirt
that's
right
very
now.
You are wearing a
fitting.
Black
Yeah.
Butler shirt. I mainly skip them a lot.
Yeah.
Do we
Wait,
want
one
Do
more,
another
one more,
one.
one
It's
more.
fun.
We're
One
gonna
more.
be doing this for the next hour. No clue.
I know it.
Oh wait.
I know it, but it's a isekai. A Guilty Crown. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, you My Hero.
Dang.
Yeah.
We could totally do this on stream.
Everyone knows
Yeah.
this one.
Oh, I
It's
forgot to
not
talk
Tokyo
about
Ghoul.
Bull.
That's not Tokyo.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it
That one?
is.
Oh, I was thinking of Tokyo Revengers for some reason. I'm
Oh.
sorry.
All right,
You're silly.
one more.
Yuri on Ice.
Yep.
I need to watch that.
Can you feel?
Wait, I
Oh,
just want to see
here.
if the next one. What if the next one was Tokyo Revengers? Just what if it?
No, it's Soldier.
Why can't we do this? Is your
The
question
entire
good?
podcast.
Oh, yes, it is very good. All right, so pause it for. All right, so it's been a great game show with Reese at 2 points, Grace at 4, CJ at like 6
Wait,
or
I
7.
feel like I should have more than 4
You should have
points.
more, but I'm not keeping score anymore.
Okay.
The final question is this. Recently, the movie Batman was released.
Oh.
What was the promotional meal that Batman and Little Caesars released?
Oh, it's the Batman pizza thing. Right?
Yes, but what is the specific name of the Batman
Oh,
pizza?
no.
Battle Pizza.
No.
Um.
Do you give up?
No.
I'm not
I'll
gonna
give
get
you a
this.
hint. Calzone.
Boo.
You give up?
I don't know.
It's called the Batman Calzone. It's like a mixture of a pizza. Search it up right now. The Batman Calzone. It's wicked. Editor Diego, fly Batman Calzone over the screen. That's what it looks like. It looks horrendous.
That looks so weird.
That's ugly.
It's so
I
it's
thought it
so weird.
I mean, I guess that is a Batarang, but I thought that it would look more like a Batarang.
the Batman calzone.
It
It's
looks
such
like
a
a
weird
pet.
thing. All right, the time is 3:31. Grace and I have to be going for theater
Musical.
practice. Yeah, musical. Which you should go see on April 24th, 25th, and 26th.
Yes. It's called the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee.
Yes, and it's best to watch on the 25th. So
Yes.
thank you, Reese, for popping in for Aiden. He was editing a video right now, so we couldn't
Yep.
do it. And thank you for your anime expertise. And thank you, Miss Grace Kearns,
You are welcome.
for being here.
You're welcome.
And thank you to the listeners for listening as well. We are going to try to have a podcast up every single week. That is our goal. And yeah, if you also have a question or want to add feedback, in the description would be our email address where you can ask or put an input for
or
us.
comments. I think comments would probably be our preferred way, unless you want to privately
Yeah.
message us, then email.
Mhm.
But also, I wanted to add in that personally, I would love to talk about anime more in the podcast.
Me too.
And so if you guys would like to see us talk about anime more, and maybe I can just start hosting some anime episodes, have like a side series of 3AM Bagels anime or something like that, you know, let us know. If we get support behind it, we'll definitely do that. If we probably even get any support, because I want to do that, and I might even do that without support.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you guys for coming on. I was gonna say something, but I forgot. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. We're also on Spotify now. So if you're watching this from YouTube or Anchor, we're on Spotify because that's a more convenient thing of listening to. So
We've always been on Spotify.
we've always been on Spotify.
I only listen
episode
to
was
this on
on
Spotify.
Spotify.
If you're listening to on Spotify, hi and goodbye. Bye. All right, farts.